trailer for Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest anime is finally out, and it looks better than ever. Because of that, the fans are hyped up. The anime is rapidly approaching, with it being less than a month away. Because of that, I decided to make a video to kinda get people, especially the anime-only fans, ready to what to expect from 100 Year Quest. The video will mostly be spoiler-free, with only few minor spoilers being in it, so you can watch the full video without the fear that it might ruin your experience. But before we start, make sure to subscribe. We are only 83 subscribers away from hitting 2000 subscribers. So please, consider subscribing. It is a great help because it makes me say subscribe less. Anyway, time to get back to the video. So here are all the things you need to know about 100 Year Quest before watching the anime or picking up the manga. Number 1. 100 Year Quest anime is going to be made by an entire different animation studio. All 3 of the previous anime adaptations of Fairy Tail were made by A1 Pictures, Bridge and Satellite Studios. 100 Year Quest is going to be made by JC Staff, who is most known about Index, Railgun, One Punch Man Season 2 and Eden Zero. Because of this, there are going to be a lot of differences, both in terms of animation style, art style, sound effects and many more. Since 100 Year Quest is going to be made by a different studio, the character designs will look slightly different, both in terms of proportions, line work, color palettes and many more. So say goodbye to the final season character art style, because they aren't coming back. Of course, if you've been watching every Fairy Tail anime so far, this shouldn't be an issue, as Fairy Tail had 5 animes so far, including the movies, each with a different art style and color palettes. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. However, the jump between the final season art style and 100 Year Quest art style isn't going to be as massive as it was between Season 1 and Season 2. Number 2. The animation quality. The animation quality will most likely be of better quality than in the final season. However, don't expect MAPPA or Ufotable level animation quality. The same people will work on 100 Year Quest anime as on Eden Zero, so the animation quality will be similar to that, slightly higher as they have higher budget, have extra people who worked on previous Fairy Tail seasons, and the title is a bigger name. But it's still most likely not going to have a massively better animation compared to Eden Zero. We're still going to have slideshows as visible from the trailer. Of course, there are going to be many amazing animation sequences, as there were in Eden Zero as well. Some of these are actually visible in the trailer. The overall quality will definitely be higher than that of the last season. Just make sure to not put your hopes too far up on an unrealistic standard. Number 3. This will include a minor spoiler, but for those who watched the last episode of the final season or read the last chapter, this shouldn't come as a surprise. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest anime will mostly follow Team Natsu, meaning don't expect to see much shine from other members of the guild who aren't part of the team. Don't worry, they're still going to be relevant in 100 Year Quest, with small bits of shine here and there, but nowhere near as much as they had in the original story. This might come as a disappointment for many, but this is something what needs to be said, as some people tend to become quite toxic if they don't see their favorite character in action. 100 Year Quest is a story what follows the main team, especially Natsu, so they will be the main focus of the story. Number 4. Nothing what happens in 100 Year Quest contradicts anything from the original story, so pay close attention to how things are said, and if you still have questions, you are always free to ask me or other people who already read the manga. Many people, when 100 Year Quest first came out, thought that the story contradicts things from the original story. However, this is not the case. So make sure to not jump to negative conclusions too early on, just to avoid another wave of toxicity. Nobody needs that. And if you still don't understand something, as I said, feel free to ask. There is always someone out there to explain it. Number 5. The pacing is going to be massively different than what we are used to in the previous seasons. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest is a bi-weekly manga, meaning to compensate to the slow release date, the pacing of the story became faster. fights are going to be shorter, backstories and plot points are shorter compared to the original manga, giving the feeling like if it would be rushed. The anime will even further elevate this as they are planning to adapt 2 arcs into 1 season, so there is the possibility that the pacing will be even faster in the anime. This might give the feeling that things would be rushed, however this can't really be helped, as bi-weekly release is painfully slow. 100 Year Quest manga been ongoing for 6 years now, and we only on chapter 160. Eden Zero also started 6 years ago, and it's on nearly 300 chapters. Make the pacing slower and the manga becomes way too dragged out. So be ready that the anime is going to have fast ass whoopings. Number 6. This is only if you decided to pick up the manga after the anime. 100 Year Quest manga is not drawn by Hiro Mashima. Hiro Mashima is only the person behind the writing. The person who does the illustrations is Atsuo Ueda. So the art style of the manga is massively different than what you are used to in the original manga. This doesn't mean the art is bad. Ueda did his best job replicating Mashima's art style. And me, as someone who did fanarts about Mashima's characters, I can fully tell you that it isn't an easy job. Mashima's art style is really hard to replicate. The fact that he got them down to this point while making deadlines is a massive accomplishment. The art style of 100 Year Quest manga is different than the original, and that is fine. Ueda did a really good job and many of his panels look awesome, even if different from the original manga. I mean, look at this mwah! And there are even more really good panels. I just can't show them because spoilers. I want to be spoiler free. Since this panel was in the trailer, I'm going to show this. Well, these are all the things you need to know about Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest before watching the anime or picking up the manga after watching the anime. I hope I was helpful to clear few things up. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, both under this video or on Twitter. I am there as well, just not spoiler free. I'm really excited about the anime adaptation, and I'm so happy that it finally arrived. After all that waiting, it's finally here. Are you excited about the anime? Please let me know in the comment section below. This was Space G. Don't forget to subscribe and see you guys in space. Bye!